Well, good evening and welcome to the broadcast tonight, the 14th day of September, the year 2023. My name is Sami Adika. Now, EACC has issued a warning to top government officials against engaging in corruption as they intensify war on corruption. We shall be taking a look on that and many more later on. But first, remember to get in touch with us through our socials at EBN TV and at Sami Adika. But starting us off with matters Worldcoin probe, the government is currently holding 14 electronic gadgets belonging to the Worldcoin, or rather to Worldcoin, used to capture Kenyans' private data. Interior CS Kithure Kindiki now says that they intend to carry forensic audit to determine the safety of the data collected in July this year. Kindiki has told the Senate ad hoc committee that Worldcoin was not registered to operate in the country.
We have recorded approximately 26 statements from witnesses and persons of interest. 48 electronic gadgets and Worldcoin operations assorted merchandise or equipments have been recovered or taken to our possession. 3, the orbs and electronic gadgets have been submitted to the Communications Authority and the Cyber Forensic Laboratory, and they are currently undergoing through forensic analysis. And the purpose of this analysis is to establish a number of things, including the exact number of the people of Kenya whose iris was scanned. Number 2, the exact nature of personal data that was captured, the capability of the equipment that was being used, the possible health implications of that process on the health of the people of Kenya who are involved, whether the authorizations that are required under the law to carry out an activity of this nature are being obtained, and eventually to establish whether crimes under the law of Kenya were committed, and if so, prosecute those that would be found culpable. In this process of investigations, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, I confirm that all the relevant government agencies are involved and are supporting the investigative process, including but not limited to the Central Bank of Kenya, the Communications Authority, the Office of the Data Protection Commission, the Registrar of Companies, the Capital Markets Authority, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, the Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, the Consumer Protection Agency, and also we are collaborating very well with the International Police Organization, Interpol.
And now on matters corruption, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has issued a stern warning to cabinet secretaries and other top government officials against engaging in corruption. Speaking during a luncheon with the Kenya Editors Guild, EACC Chief Executive Officer Twalib Mubarak noted that 9 former and sitting governors are in court for alleged theft, with 21 of them under investigations. On its side, the Kenya Editors Guild pledged to support EACC on its quest to end corruption in the country.
So we are focusing on county governments, and we have realized that there are governors in counties where they have encouraged corruption to thrive, which include fictitious pending bills, where they don't have some invoices, procurement of processes. They're trying to be very smart. They're avoiding conflict of interest. So they use their friends to form companies and they give them contracts. And then employment irregularities.
We also encourage media houses and media organizations to establish and adhere to strong ethical guidelines. Journalists should be held to high standards of accuracy, fairness, and integrity in their reporting on corruption. In conclusion, supporting journalists in the fight against corruption is not just a matter of freedom of press. It's an investment in transparency, accountability, and the future of Kenya. By addressing the challenges journalists face and providing them with necessary resources and protection, we can collectively work towards a more transparent and corruption-free society.
Well, and in a bid to support President William Ruto's bottom-up agenda, the Ministry of Education has approved the recognition of the prior learning policy set to recognize skilled workers who lack academic qualification and certificates. The initiative will benefit thousands who are currently struggling to secure jobs in the country. Speaking in Naivasha, Nakuru County, the acting director of the Kenya National Qualification Authority, Alice Kande, noted that the program will enable the beneficiaries secure jobs in government and also contracts.
For a long time, we have not had this kind of a program. And as we appreciate the formal education and training, we also realize that there are those who might have been forgotten because either they dropped out of the formal education and training and they got probably into the industry. And they have been doing so well in that context. And while they have been doing so well, they have not had a formal certification of that skill. And so a highlight of this policy is that now we have a provision to acknowledge that context. So we are saying that we are appreciating that learning is happening anywhere, every time. So we are appreciating formal, non-formal, and informal way of acquisition of learning. We're appreciating that it is opening doors to so many that have been probably denied opportunities because they did not have a certificate to show of it, yet they have a skill, a competence that they have. And we are also cognizant of the focus of the current government. We are keen on the key areas and specifically looking at the manufacturing sector. We're looking at construction, for instance. We're looking at a lot that is happening in the industry. And we're seeing so many people who are very good and fine in what they are doing. Talk about plumbing, talk about those small and minute skills that people are really able to do. So how is it that we can enable them, even if it is recognizing as a micro unit, but we recognize it as something that can actually enable someone to grow.
The aim is to have it done so that these people at the pyramid can come out, be assessed, and they are given certificates. Those certificates will improve their livelihood. They can now compete for government tenders. They can even seek employment outside the country. They can also start their companies. And that's why we are here. We have done a review to address the issue of the bottom-up economy. We also have many changes globally. The world is changing a lot. Now they want very small qualifications. The world doesn't want people who spend 4 years in school. They just want me to spend even 1 month and I come up with one single skill that will give me a job.
Well, and moving to the western region, Kakamega County government has issued a stern warning to miners in Ikolomani ahead of the El Nino rains. Kakamega CEC for Environment, Water and Natural Resources Penina Mukabane has stated that it would be risky for the miners, urging them to vacate the area immediately as the region has started experiencing frequent rains. Penina, however, said that the county government has put in place strategies in case of any disaster and eventuality that may arise from the rains.
We are still mapping out the hotspots, but from previous experience, Mumias West kuna sehemu ambazo zina border Siaya huwa zinakuwa affected sana. Kwa mfano kule Etenje Ward ilikuwa affected wakati fulani, watu wakawa displaced, watu wakaumia, wakapoteza malazi, vitu za nyumba. Lakini sasa tunajaribu tuwaeleze mapema, and we are preparing also in our committee. We are going to co-opt churches and church leaders, so that those ones with those buildings, they can allow some families to enter there if their homes will be affected. So one of the details ni hiyo water harvesting, so that we are able also to take advantage ya hizo mvua nyingi, so that we are able to store. Tuko pia tunafanya desiltation ya dams zetu, so that we can collect as much water as possible in the dams, na tutafanya water harvesting kwa mashule zetu za chekechea, kwa polytechnics zetu, kwa mahospitali zetu. Sisi county, kila wizara itapewa, isipokuwa sisi tutapewa target kubwa, kwa maana it is one of our core mandates ya kutekeleza hiyo kazi. Maana mnahatarisha maisha yenu, na hata wale ambao mna drive, ukipata a pool of water in the middle of the road, don't drive through, because you can easily drown or the vehicle can easily overturn.
Well, and crossing over now to Nairobi County, the county government has absorbed 3,500 new laborers to help clean drainage systems and roads within the city as part of the county's plan to reduce the impact of El Nino rains expected to start in October. The new team will join forces with the Green Nairobi team to ensure that the city is not hit hard by floods once the rain starts.
There is a need to develop a stormwater drainage master plan for the Nairobi metropolitan region, as a well-designed combined infrastructure is critical. We are keen to harmonize the flood mitigation plans between the Nairobi City County Government, National Water and Sewer Company, KENHA, KURA, and the State Department of Housing and Urban Development in order to limit damages to our people, their property, and daily living conditions.
And we instructed the building inspectorate to conduct a survey of unsafe buildings in Nairobi. We have received the report, and one of the actions we'll take in some of those buildings that cannot be brought back to standard, the ones that are irreparably, structurally in default.
Well, and still on the same issue of getting ready for El Nino rains, Siaya and Busia counties have joined hands in securing lives and properties during the heavy rains that are expected to start soon. Well, Siaya Governor James Orengo and his Busia counterpart Paul Otuoma early on Thursday met to identify infrastructures that need upgrading in the two counties. Well, the two governors have formed a committee that will help secure River Yala and its environment. Well, the committee will also spearhead agriculture and water harvesting within the two counties.
Today we discussed a series of issues. One of them was the question of the oncoming El Nino, disaster preparedness as neighboring counties. And as you know, we share the same water bodies, and even our territory, our ecosystems are more or less the same, or the same. Because if you talk about Yala Swamp, it's the same ecosystem.
And Busia, we share a lot in common. And today we have come here to make sure that matters that affect the two counties we address jointly. And one of them is what you have heard about the Yala Swamp. You know that we have got a very significant project that is going on there, supported by the World Bank and the national government. And there has been delay. This project should have come to an end in the end of this month, September, but it has been extended to next year. But that does not mean now that we should go to sleep.
And in Rift Valley, Nakuru County Governor Susan Kihika has put on notice all the county executive committee members against failing to execute their mandates as expected. Speaking during the signing of performance contracts by the county CECs, Governor Kihika urged the county executive committee members to improve service delivery to the county residents and help achieve her manifesto.
Performance contract includes the absorption of funds. The controller of the budget has written to the county government expressing the need to absorb more.
over the findings of an assessment on the absorption of funds between the financial year 2018 and 2022. We have rolled over as a county for that period between 2018 and 2022. The county government has not absorbed the funds very well and has rolled over projects on average about 5.7 billion in the development budget every year, which is really scary. With this contract, I'm putting my county executive committee on notice to ensure that the development budget is 100% implemented within the financial year. The performance of the performance contract will also check on the impact of community empowerment programs. So I will expect the CECM for agriculture, for example, to show me not just how many avocado seedlings he has distributed, but how has the livelihood of the farmers improved as a result of our avocado program. So this performance contract will also look at the absorption of externally mobilized resources. The Nakuru County government has performed maybe perhaps not too well in the externally funded projects and programs. Take, for example, the Afraha Stadium. The stadium had an initial completion timeline of 64 weeks. By the time of my assumption of office, 104 weeks ago, the construction was only at 37%. So I'm happy to report that after I've come into the office in the last 52 weeks, I have pushed these projects. There are many times I have shown up over there unexpectedly to see how it's going. We have pushed, and in that time period, I have gone, in 52 weeks now, I have gone from 37% to 90% completion.
Well, now on matters agriculture, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has appealed to Colombia to partner with Kenya in boosting coffee trade in the country in a quest to gain entry in the global market. The Kenya Kwanza government, according to Gachagua, is that the government is committed to ensuring coffee farmers greatly benefit from the Kenya-Colombia partnership. Gachagua has insisted that Kenya is focused on establishing Coffee Research Foundation to help develop better and quality coffee for the international market.
We are here in this forum by choice because we have undoubtedly Colombia is the largest producer of coffee in the world and has the best quality. Our visit here is we want you to help us in matters research. We had a very good research station called the Coffee Research Foundation, but through some mistakes that were made in terms of policy, that research was abandoned, and as a result, we have not come up with better varieties that are disease resistant. And we want you to help our hand as we are doing reforms to bring back the Coffee Research Foundation, and we can borrow some good lessons on your research capacity in this country. We are here to seek your friendship, to seek your companionship, to seek your collaboration, to seek an exchange program of how the two countries that produce the best coffee in the world can work together, so that we can learn from you and we see how you can help us to penetrate the world market so that we can sell our coffee directly.
And Uasin Gishu County parents who paid money for their children to go to Finland for further studies now say that leaders from the county are using the previous groups to lie to Kenyans that they have settled the issue. While calling on President William Ruto to intervene on the matter, the parents have also noted that their quest to seek refund has been met with stumbling block, questioning the leadership and government intention on their quest for justice.
The government, the county government, is out there telling people that we have been sorted, and as you can see, we are still here. The people that went to Finland yesterday were not part of us. The numbers that we have are more than 300 students that have not been able to leave the country and still want their refund. Those were 22 students who had launched their visas last year in November. So it's almost 1 year now that they have been waiting for their visas, and we are not part of that group. This is another group that wants their refund, more than 300 of us. Very unfortunate that someone has said that we are being bankrolled by a politician. There is no politician who has bankrolled us. Sisi hizi t-shirts zenye mnaona tulitengeneza hapa ikisema mambo ni matatu. Students tulitoa pesa. Tulichanga 50 bob, 100, 200 tukijaribu kutengeneza t-shirts. Na hata unaona sisi wote hatujavaa. We managed to make only around at most 10 t-shirts. So no one is bankrolling us. There's no politician that is behind us. We just want justice to be served and to be served swiftly.
Kama serikali ambayo ilikuwa inafaa kutuchunga sisi na mali yetu, ndio serikali ambayo imekuja kutuibia. Surely are we in our own country?
Kumekuwa na mazungumzo na governor, lakini governor yeye mwenyewe alituambia kwamba hajui pesa zilienda wapi. Sisi kama walalamishi tukuje tumsaidie, tuseme tumwambie ni wapi penye pesa zilienda. Sasa sisi tunashangaa kama sisi ndio tulimchagua aweze kuwakilisha our interest as the residents of Uasin Gishu County. Anakujaje kusema kwamba atio hajui mahali penye pesa ziko.
Well, and property worth millions has been destroyed after fire burnt down over 15 businesses and student hostels within Nyumba Tatu area in Laikipia. Efforts to put off the fire was futile as the fire department was unable to respond in time. The area residents and leaders now want Laikipia County government to help resettle those affected.
Hiyo moto ilianza tu kujua venye imeanza. Si tumesukia tu moto tukiwa ndani na kutoka tukapata ni moto kubwa. So tukaanza kuchota maji na tukazima, but zima moto nayo imerespond na ikakuja na imetusaidia.
Tusaidia tu, naomba tu washuka ni MC wetu Joshua Idogo nikapana. Wakuja tusaidia hawa mama wasilie kama bila lia. Na Mungu atawashukuru Mungu tu kuja.
Mwanafunzi wa Laikipia University, nilikuwa nakaa nyumba iko hapa hivi kwa sababu siwezi afford nyumba expensive. Simu yangu imechomeka kama mnavyoona. Laptop yangu, manguo zangu zote.
Moto ilitokea kwa ghafla, lakini imeshoma kitu yote, hakuna kitu hata moja imeshukuliwa.
Wenye wote ambao wamekondi hizi nyumba wameshomekewa na kila kitu, maguo, chakula hawana. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali kuu, serikali ya county na watu ambao wangetaka kusaidia hawa watu wakunje wawape msaada.
Mimi ndiye mwenye hii plot. Kusema kweli hii plot nimejaga na tabu mingi sana. Hata mkiangalia hicho mnaweza ona nimejaga na tabu mingi. Kwa hivyo vile kitu ningesema tusaidie na hawa wanakuja sasa ile wanataka kula. Anatukuta hapa kila siku tunaamkia pamoja na hawa. Mimi ile kitu ningesema waki watusaidie na wasaidie hata watoto. Watoto kwanza hawana kitu, hata vitabu, hata uniform yote imeisha.
Well, such incidences now makes us question as Kenyans, do we really have a competent and reliable fire department that can always be on standby to respond in time and reduce such cases? Well, Labour CS Florence Bore has visited Uasin Gishu County to inspect the ongoing registration of Inua Jamii beneficiaries in the county. Bore has insisted that the registration process seeks to ensure all beneficiaries receive the funds despite of their location. The government has so far registered 700 people against their target of 1.3 million Kenyans.
We want leaders from this region to also create awareness, to tell people to come out and register. At this level, we should be expecting that about over 20,000 should have registered. So at 13,000, we are a bit low. So we want to see what the issue is, but our officers on the ground have advised us that we should go to the interior parts of this county. Most of the registration was done in the city of Eldoret. So we want for the next 2 weeks our officers to go to the interior and register the persons with disability, the older persons, the vulnerable children that need to be put onto the program, and that's my appeal. part of the money when they get, they should be able to get the NHIF card to be able to support them when they have sickness. Part of the money they can use it to do some little gardening. They can also to be able to get food for themselves.
Well, the Kenyan and Turkish governments have signed a trade agreement. The agreement is set to improve business between the two nations and improve on its relationship.
We are looking here is to see how the Kenyan companies can be able to work together with the Turkish companies in terms of trading, in terms of attracting investments, in terms of bringing Turkish technology to Kenya. And to add into that is that as Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, we have a joint business council, which is a group of business people who are doing business between Turkey and Kenya. And out of that, we are looking at the policies, we are looking at opportunities, and we are looking at how we need to attract investment to Kenya.
Expecting that the Kenyan investors and the Turkish investors, they will showcase each other the needs and the opportunity, and our job here is to provide the linkage between the two so that they can close the investment deals which will take care of the investment opportunities available in this country.
We've basically agreed that we are going to increase the volume of trade and also of investment. That is the good news which we have, and also the other logistics which is not favorable for the traders coming from Turkey. The PS has agreed that it will consult the various state departments so that it can unlock that.
Well, that right there marks the end of EBN Prime Edition tonight. Many thanks for tuning in once again. My name is Sami Adika. Do have a lovely night. Remember, tomorrow morning, Cynthia Nanjala will be here with many more on EBN Morning Live.